This is Rock and Roll English. Real people, real English. Here's your host, Martin Johnston.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Rock and Roll English. Episode number 124, baby. Oh yeah. I suppose more importantly, the first episode of 2019. Oh wow. Obviously, there's been a little bit of a break. I've come back refreshed because I spent about 3 weeks in bed because I was sick. But you're not interested, are you? No one's interested in hearing bad things, okay? How are you? Not good. I feel sick. No one cares, okay? But I'm back and it's going to be a big fucking year at Rock and Roll English. Believe me, okay? In today's episode, I speak to Clarification Charlie about getting back into a routine, you know, the new year, stuff like this. Remember, all of the rock and roll vocabulary is on the website, rockandrollenglish.com. There is the quiz. Go there, use it, have fun. I will speak to you all again at the end, but in the meantime, happy listening. Clarification Charlie, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you, Martin. How are you?
Always fantastic, always fantastic. Happy New Year and all that. I mean, is it necessary to say this? I always think if you know someone well, you don't really need to say it, do you?
True.
It's a given. Rock and roll vocabulary straight away. Given, like it's obvious you want that person to have a good new year. Just leave it, okay? It's not necessary. I know.
It's one of those things now. It's like, how far does it go? Like I see people at work and they're like, "Oh, Happy New Year," and you're like, "Yeah." It's like, well, it's been 2 weeks now.
Exactly. That's the worst thing. People at work have had that. Literally everyone I've seen. Happy New Year. Yes. Same to you. Same to you. So we're already starting with a really positive note, which I really like. Anyway, how do we usually start the show?
With a review.
Oh, yeah, baby. Do you think we have a review? New year, you know, let's start.
I hope so, yes.
We do.
Oh, yes.
Thank God. I can really feel how relieved you are there. Like, oh, thank God.
I like to get it right. I get really disappointed when I get it wrong.
That's the beauty of a game, isn't it? Every time we go to the supermarket, me and Mrs. Rock and Roll English, I always say, how much do you think it's going to be? The person that gets it closest wins. And it's a fucking great game.
It is a great game. Will and I do that all the time.
It's a great game. Will, by the way, everyone, is Mr. Clarification Charlie. Mr. Clarification Charlie. Anyway, so the review is from someone called Uertzi. I've already apologised to him for my terrible pronunciation. But it's an iTunes one. Love iTunes reviews.
We like that.
And the title is 5-star, which, you know, that's already a great title. And it says, most amazing podcast with most unusual, amazing stories. Best of both worlds. You can improve your listening and speaking skills at the same time. You can learn life lessons as well. Lots of life lessons on this podcast. It says, I am listening to this podcast because I want to fake my accent with proper pronunciation. I like that because what I imagine he's saying there is that he needs to copy, well, he's trying to copy our pronunciation. Clarification Charlie's got probably better pronunciation because, as we know, she's posh. But still, my pronunciation's not too bad, okay? When I told your helmet incident to my cousins, they were all laughing so hard, one of them fell off the bed. Well, that's good to know, but, you know, don't fall off beds. It could be dangerous. Speaking of dangerous, he says, people here don't even wear helmets or seatbelts. Still less accidents, which is actually true, by the way. Organised chaos, a bit like in Palermo. And then the last bit is my favourite bit. It says, stay blessed. I just want to say one thing to the listeners. Just be happy with what you have. Love yourself and be proud of yourself. If you don't like someone, stay away from them. We don't have this much time for worrying. Life is so short. Enjoy the moment. Wow, it's quite philosophical, that, wasn't it?
Some deep stuff there, aren't there?
Real deep.
Deep shit.
I was going to say deep shit, but I thought, can I say deep shit? But you obviously read my mind. That's what I wanted to say. But he says there, life's so short. I'm already thinking, I don't know if it is so short. It's long. I've had 34 years now, and I'm already thinking, fucking hell, that's enough. I'm done. Okay, I'm going home. That's enough. That's enough for me. One other very funny thing that he asked me, because we were having a conversation on Instagram, because remember, I don't see the reviews, so he actually sent me the review, which is always strange to know that people listen to me. But anyway, he said,
That's nice.
I noticed you have 10,000 followers, but you don't get many likes on your pictures. Why is that? And I was like, I just think people are bored of me, really. People are just like, I'm just a bit bored of my shit, really. I didn't really know how to answer that. So, people, please do like my photos on social media, Facebook, Instagram, just that little like button, okay?
Yeah.
Goes a long way. I
didn't realise you had 10,000 followers. That's loads.
Yeah, but only about 3 people actually like my pictures. So you're one of them. My mum's the other one. And I think Boom Boom's the other one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also thought asking people to like your pictures. I mean, is there anything more rock and roll than that? I don't think so.
No, I mean, you've gone there now, though, haven't you?
Exactly. It's too late to turn back. Too late to turn back. Anyway, do you know what today's show is about?
Well, do you know what? I don't have a clue. It makes me nervous.
Well, don't be nervous. It's sort of connected to what I was just talking about New Year. I'm having difficulty, getting back in the swing of things. Rock and roll vocabulary. What does that mean? Clarification, Charlie. Why don't you clarify that?
Just kind of back into sort of the day-to-day kind of stuff,
yeah,
really.
Exactly. Routine. For example, I had my first lesson after the holidays, had 12 children in front of me, and I suddenly thought, fuck, I can't remember what I need to do now. I've forgotten how to teach. I don't know what to do. So I'm just having a bit of difficulty getting back into my routine. So I thought we could have a look and see how adaptable we both are, okay?
Oh, God. Right, okay.
Just about life in general. Kind of like a test, again, like the posh test,
yes.
which you failed miserably.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so I'm just going to read statements. This is from the test, and we can say how much we agree. So you say, yep, I'm definitely like that. No, I'm not like that, etc. Okay? So the first one is, I always look at the brighter side of things, even in difficult situations. Is that what you do? Clarification, Charlie?
I think it depends sometimes. In like my general kind of life, I would say yes. When it comes to work, sometimes I can be a bit negative.
That's the thing. Sometimes the situation is just shit and you just need to accept it. For example, today I was waiting for the bus. It was raining. I was waiting for fucking ages. The bus turned up 20 minutes late. So rock and roll vocabulary, turned up, it arrived. And when it was 20 minutes late and I was getting wet, what's the positive there? No, I know. It's hard to find one, really, isn't it? Exactly. It's hard to think, you know what, this is fantastic. I'm so glad that now my face is really wet and cold and I can't really feel my feet. What a fantastic day.
And you've got to go to work.
Exactly, yeah. And I have to go to work. So, yeah, sometimes I think just accept people. The situation is shit. Try to look on the bright side, but not always. Not always
possible.
Exactly. The next one I found very strange was, I can adapt to different temperatures. What do you think about that? Can you adapt well to different temperatures when you go on holiday, stuff like this?
Oh, do you know what? I do love a good bit of sun. I do love it. And I don't get it very often here.
You can adapt to hot weather. Fantastic.
I can adapt to hot weather, definitely. Do you know what? I would actually say I'm quite adaptable, because in England you kind of have to be, because it can be August and then one day it's 28 degrees, the next day it's 12.
Well, exactly. You have to dress for all 4 seasons, don't you? That's what people say, I think. Is that what people say, or did I make that up?
I don't know, but it's very true. You do.
Well, exactly. Even if people don't say it, I'm saying it now. Okay.
Exactly.
I actually have quite a lot of difficulty, especially here. For some reason, even when it's 12 degrees, like in winter, like now, it feels like it's like minus 50. It's fucking absolutely freezing. It's the problem I always say to everyone is that it's cold in the houses. It's cold when I go to work. It's just fucking cold 24 hours a day. Going to the toilet at the moment, let me tell you, is a nightmare. When you just sit on that toilet seat and it's like ice, just think, oh my God.
Do you not have heating? Is it not?
Well, it doesn't really work. You have like high ceilings. It doesn't really work. It takes fucking ages.
I suppose your houses are made for the hot weather, aren't they, really?
That's it. That's the problem. But yeah, I'm really struggling basically doing POOS at the moment because it's just so cold. It's bad enough because you have to take off the bottom half of your clothes, so you're already taking off clothes. taking off your trousers, which isn't good. And then when you have to sit on that toilet, I just think, oh, God, it's not worth it. I'll just piss my pants. That's the easier option.
Hang on. Do you sit down to wee?
Well, I'm talking about the wee before you do a poo.
Oh, right, okay.
Because it's impossible to do a poo without doing a pee, isn't it?
Do you know what? That is something I remember you telling me when we were about 18, and it still like sits with me now, and you're just like, I can never do a shit without doing a piss first.
You have to do a piss to do the shit. It's like a calling to the shit. Your body, there's something that goes on there. You do the piss and then your body understands, okay, right, we might be doing a shit now. Let's get ready. That's the thing. You have to. You can't do a shit without doing a piss. I don't care what anyone says. Okay? As well, in classes at the moment, because I'm always feeling cold, I put it to about like 40 degrees. All of the students, I can just see them sweating and dying. Just, can we turn off this air conditioning? No, we fucking can't. No, we bloody can't. So another one I got here, very strange, this one. It says, if my dog/cat/pet, let's just say pet, if my pet soils my favourite attire. So, some rock and roll vocabulary there. What does that mean, to soil your attire?
So, basically, to wee or poo on your clothes.
Yeah, attire basically means clothes. Very formal word, attire. And to soil clothes, yeah, it's quite...
that's to do a poo.
Yeah, basically what we were just talking about a minute ago, actually. Lots of talk about poos on this podcast.
All the time. I feel like it's always my show, so you always talk about poo.
No, it's not just yours, everyone's. I always talk about it. It's an important subject. But yeah, so my pet soils my attire just before leaving for a party, and I would not mind going to the party in the same attire. So basically going to a party with like dog shit on you. Have you ever done that? Clarification, Charlie? You've got a dog.
Yeah, I've got a dog and I've got a baby. There's definitely been a lot of shit in my life. And it has generally, gone all over the place.
But then do you go to a party? Like, surely you just think, I've got shit on me.
I wouldn't go to a party with dog poo on me.
God.
Of course I wouldn't. Of course I wouldn't.
Thank God.
But there have been occasions when you've been out and like you're trying to change the baby and poo does go everywhere, like everywhere.
I would accept baby poo. If you came to my house with baby poo, I would accept it. If you came to my house with dog poo, I would shut the door in your face and say, never come to this house again and never speak to me again, basically.
Excellent.
So just make sure, when you come to my house, make sure there's no dog poo. As I said, baby poo, that's fine. That's fine.
That's fine. Okay.
Just watch as well when the baby poos on you, that the baby will definitely do a pee before doing the poo.
Right, okay, yeah, probably.
It's the same for children, same for adults, all the same. Everyone does that. So the next one is one I quite enjoy, which says, I don't mind where I sit in a restaurant. What do you think? You go into a restaurant, do you mind where you sit? Or are you just one of those people, sure, whatever?
No, I don't really mind, to be honest. Sometimes you look out when you arrive and you're like, oh, that table looks quite nice. And you hope that you might get put on that table, but sometimes it doesn't happen. But I'm also incredibly British in the respect that you just wouldn't ever complain. You wouldn't dare say anything. You just
complain when they put you on the table. They say, where do you want to sit? Anywhere's fine. They put you on the table. Yeah. As soon as the waiter goes, fucking bastard, I didn't want this table.
Yeah.
The worst thing is when the waiter just says, go wherever you want, especially when it's quite free, like loads of tables, and then you're with someone, where do you want to go? They say, wherever you want to go, wherever you want to go. Look, let's just fucking decide. Let's just fucking pick a table, okay?
Oh, it's mad. So, and I know there's clever ploys they play in restaurants sometimes. They like to put people like in the windows so it looks busier from the outside as well. Exactly. And sometimes you're like, I don't want to be sat next to, like, there's a whole restaurant here. Why have you put me next to someone? Like, I don't want to be near them.
Good point. Very good point. Lovely rock and roll vocabulary there as well when you said that the restaurants sometimes sort of have these sort of ploys. How can we explain that, clarification, Charlie? How can we clarify that?
Some plan, some idea, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So the next one is, if I find most of the people are unknown to me at a party, I would still enjoy myself and have fun instead of leaving the party. What would you do? Clarification, Charlie.
So sorry, I zoned out then. I didn't actually listen at all to what you were saying.
She's just not listening to me. That's fine. She's just not listening, okay? That is absolutely fine. I mean, this is a podcast. Generally, the main thing is conversation, so it's quite easy. You have to listen to what the other person says and then you respond. I just asked her a question. Sorry, I just wasn't listening. Thank you very much.
I'm very sorry. I am listening now.
That's fantastic. You are listening now. I thought that should just be a given. You shouldn't need to tell me when you're listening. It should just be you're always listening, but never mind. I forgot, though, you did actually use some rock and roll vocabulary there when you said I zoned out. So when you zone out, it's just basically when you stop listening to someone, you just start thinking about something completely different. So the question was, clarification, Charlie, are you listening still? Are you listening now?
I am.
Okay,
yes,
good.
I am. I'm concentrating.
Okay. If I find most of the people are unknown to me at a party, I would still enjoy myself and have fun instead of leaving the party.
Absolutely.
What would you do?
I bloody love that. I love it. I just do.
Just love going to parties where you don't know anyone.
No, a bit both, but I am perfectly happy to just go and talk at someone.
Yeah, I'm sure the other people are thinking, oh, fucking hell, who's this girl that's so keen to talk to us and I don't even fucking know who she is.
Just normally like knocking over like a glass of wine at the time as well, just sort of stumbles across.
Yeah, lovely rock and roll vocabulary there. Stumble, so when you're drunk usually and you can't walk, you just walk in that, you stumble, don't you?
Yeah.
So another one I've got here is I judge people by what they say and not how they look. Is that what you do? Don't judge a book by its cover and all that?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah?
Definitely. Yeah.
I mean, come on, everyone does it a little bit. Come on, you look at someone.
I was going to say, I think when you first see someone, I think you instantly make
everyone
a judgment.
does it. It's human nature. Come on.
You make a judgment. But then what comes out of their mouth can make or break a person in my eyes.
Absolutely. Lovely rock and roll vocabulary there. Make or break a person. Quite easy to understand, actually, but just a lovely term. I actually suffered from this today. Again, after I took the bus, I waited 20 minutes. It was, late. I was obviously already in a bad mood. Had to go to the bank. And then when I got off the bus, I cycled a little bit. I had my scarf, basically up to my eyes. Then I had a hat. And then I had the hood of my coat. And then I tried to get in the bank and they actually wouldn't let me in because they thought basically I was a bank robber.
Oh my God.
First of all, they said to me, can you just take off some of your clothes so we can see your face? I wanted to say, look, I'm a respectable member of society. Okay, you bastard. And
then they didn't look like one.
Yeah, exactly. They said, can you put some ID under the door? So they still didn't let me in. So I'm waiting outside getting fucking wet. I had to put some ID under the door. So I am a respectable member of society, you pieces of shit. We're all pieces of shit. You
wouldn't stand a chance of robbing a bank anyway.
Exactly. That's what I want to say. Look at me. What the fuck am I going to do? And then when I went in there, had a great conversation. And then I wanted to say to the person, I bet you feel bad now, don't you? Because, I'm not a robber, haven't got a gun. Okay, was just coming in here to change my bank account because now I've got residency. I can change it to a resident account. Really rock and roll stuff, yeah.
Nice.
Really, real rock and roll. But do you judge people by what they do?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think so, definitely.
Exactly, everyone does. I've got a great example of this. Again, it's connected to pooing. It's strange that it's always connected to pooing, but I was doing a poo. This was just before Christmas at work, and the person next to me was making a lot of noise, like a real violent poo, and sort of having difficulty breathing. It was really disgusting. It was really over the top. There was no need to do this. Wow. Walked out and it was someone I work with and I just can't look at him in the same way now.
Oh, goodness me.
It's really affected our relationship. I don't know where to go from here.
Oh God, this is why people shouldn't poo outside of their own home.
Exactly. There should be a law. Okay. And if you do, at least do it in silence. Okay.
Exactly.
And just hope there's a warm toilet seat that you can sit on. Anyway, that's the end of the quiz. Clarification, Charlie. I think we
Wow.
can say that you are quite adaptable. I think you passed this test.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
Congratulations.
I think I'm more adaptable than you, it would appear.
You know what? I'll give you that. Okay, this is the only time you win on a
Thank
podcast,
you.
okay? No problem. Okay, well, thanks a lot for your time. I'm sure we'll see you soon.
That's all right. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so that was me speaking to Clarification Charlie about, getting back in the swing of things, which is part of the rock and roll vocabulary, which is what I'm here to talk to you about. I suppose you already knew that, though, didn't you? If you've listened to the show before, obviously. If you haven't, this is the part of the show where I talk about the rock and roll English vocabulary that we spoke about in the show. Wow. I even got bored myself when I was saying that. I don't know why. That was just really boring, wasn't it? But anyway, yes, getting back into the swing of things is when you get back into the routine. Exactly as I said in the podcast, I've sort of forgotten how to teach people. So I just need that little bit of time to get back into the swing of things. We had the word given, so a noun in this situation. When we were talking about saying Happy New Year, we said, it's a given really, isn't it? It's obvious. I was then telling Clarification Charlie about when I was waiting at the bus stop, and I said the bus turned up 20 minutes late. So turn up is another word for arrive, let's say, but usually arrive in a sort of unexpected way, like someone might turn up at your door and you might say, who the fuck are you? What the fuck are you doing here? That's someone that turns up. Or in just a strange way. For example, in my example, the strange way is that the bus arrived 20 minutes late, so it turned up 20 minutes late. And we also had the word attire when we were talking about if a dog soils your favourite attire. So attire is clothes. Very formal word. Can be quite funny, though, to speak with your friend. So what's the attire for this evening? Dinner this evening. What's the attire? Might be something the Queen says. I say it as a joke. And obviously the word soil when we said if your dog soils your attire. So that's a kind of nice way to say shit, basically. But you can't say, for example, I soiled the toilet. You have to soil something. You can soil your pants. You can soil the carpet. Something like that, and it has to leave there and basically be disgusting. It's not a very nice thing. I recommend you don't soil anything, okay? Clarification Charlie then said that restaurants often have clever ploys. So a ploy is like a plan, let's say. Maybe I have a ploy for you, okay, to make you all listen to Rock and Roll English every day. I have a special ploy, a special plan. I can't tell you, though, because it's a secret and because it doesn't exist. I was then talking to Clarification Charlie. I asked her a question and she said, sorry, I completely zoned out for a minute there because she wasn't listening to me, which, is very nice, isn't it? Having a two-way conversation and she just was not listening to me. I often zone out, for example, when I'm doing a listening exam, when I do the IELTS listening exam. I'm trying to concentrate on the answer and then I think, what am I doing this evening? Should I go to the pub or should I go out for dinner? And I think, fuck, I didn't listen to that. I completely zoned out. I imagine you zone out listening to this podcast quite a lot, don't you? I do it when I listen to podcasts. I'm thinking about one thing. 1 minute I'm listening and I'm following what's going on. And then the next minute I'm thinking, it's strange that, pizzas are round, but you put them in a square box and then you eat them in triangles. It's strange, isn't it? And then I think, fuck, I'm supposed to be listening to this podcast. So that is zoning out. Clarification Charlie also said, what comes out of a person's mouth can make or break them. Quite easy to understand. Can be the good thing or the bad thing. It just sounds better, doesn't it? To make or break them. It's more colourful. We love colour at Rock and Roll English, baby. Anyway, remember, all of that rock and roll vocabulary is on the website. I will see you all again next week, people. In the meantime, just keep on rocking, baby.
Thanks so much for listening to Rock and Roll English. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit rockandrollenglish.com and facebook.com/rockandrollenglish. We'll catch you next time.